It's time to catch up with what has been a busy football weekend. I guess a lot of people are excited. So yeah, you know what to do to get more. Just hit the subscribe button. As always, devil in the detail. Hey, my name is Godfred Akotobafo. Let's get this off. And I want to talk about two things first. Let's talk about the Bournemouth-Liverpool game, and then let's talk about the West Ham game, simply because, hey, Antoine Semenyo. Now, earlier on in the season, I had spoken about the fact that Semenyo made the best decision for me of the transfer season in not leaving Bournemouth. A lot of people were like, yeah, he should have left. He's 27. He's done all that he can do. He could have worked. He would have earned it. But I think that Semenyo realized, look, he's in a place where he's comfortable. The coach understands him. He understands his role. He's a big boy there. He earns respect. He earns good money. Why does he have to leave? And I think we saw that in the loss against Liverpool. Two outstanding individual goals, albeit backed by some stupid things that happened on the pitch. I mean, that dude in the wheelchair, what the heck was he thinking? You know, with the racist attack on Antoine. But I think Antoine Semenyo was very classy. He showed his mental strength, did what he had to do, reported it to the referee, and got on with the business. I think Semenyo day in, day out has shown that he's perhaps the best Ghanaian player out there. Not necessarily the most talented, but in terms of Ghanaian players out there who are doing a job in top leagues, Antoine Semenyo in the past 11 months has shown there is nobody going past him. The one person who could get close to him is Mohamed Kudus. Now, Mohamed Kudus last season got 3 assists for West Ham United. This season, first game for Tottenham Hotspur, he gets 2 assists already. And the first one was really good. The second one, even better than the first one. And that is what we have come to expect of Mohamed Kudus. And look, the hype that he's getting is what comes with the kind of talent. He's unpredictable. He likes to showboat. There's nothing better than a player who knows what he's capable of and who he is. And I think the best part about Mohamed Kudus is he knows who he is. He knows what he's capable of, and he's not afraid to show it. You know, so it's no shock that he's become a bit of a social media darling, a bit of a marketing darling, especially with the teams and their social media accounts. So you see here, clips of him here, clips of him there. I think he's going to have a really good season. Like I said earlier on as well, the second half of last season at West Ham, his head wasn't in the game. He wasn't playing to the best of his abilities because it looked very clearly that this is a player who wanted out of that environment. He seems to have found himself in an environment and a coach who, again, like I said, Thomas Frank is a magician with wide players. We saw what he did with Yohan Wissa. We saw what he did with Brian Mbeumo. And I think that he'll be able to do the same job with Mohamed Kudus if he does apply himself. So expect more from Mohamed Kudus. I think it's going to be simply an outstanding season for the boy everybody calls Ghana's star boy. Ruben Amorim says it was a heartbreak. It was a bad way to lose the game. It was a great performance. Yeah, he was talking about Manchester United losing to Arsenal at home, first game of the season. Clearly, let's be fair here. This was a much improved Manchester United from what we had seen last season. But the records don't help Ruben Amorim. He's the fastest manager to reach 15 defeats in a new job. He's played 28 games. He's lost 15 of them. So we can acknowledge the fact that Manchester United did look much better than the team he inherited in the second half of last season. You could see the individual performances. Look, I think Mbeumo and Cunha are going to be stars in this Manchester United team. We didn't see too much of Benjamin Sesko because he didn't have time, and he obviously looked like a player who hadn't had enough sessions with the team, because you could see that the connections were not there, the patterns were not there, even though he had about 25-30 minutes to impress. But the problem Amorim has to fix is that central midfield slot. Look, Casemiro was decent, but is Bruno Fernandes the right partner for a central midfield slot? I think that he does a good job there, but it is not his place. Tends to lose the ball a lot. He tends to lose it in very bad places, tends to rush passes a bit too much, and is not athletic enough to fill that role. I think also that takes away somebody who is capable of scoring 30 goals a season for you if you place him directly behind the striker, which is where he's most effective, with his superior ball striking, with his eye for a true pass. So he needs to solve that problem. Even worse, the goalkeeping one. Come on. You have to make a choice between Onana and Bayende. It's a choice between the devil and a hard place. At the moment, none of those two work. Manchester United need to go out and solve that problem. A lot of people are saying Gigi Donnarumma. Here's the thing. Donnarumma was brilliant last season. But in the 4 years that he's been at Paris Saint-Germain, He's not been a very good goalkeeper. So do you fall back on the purple patch he had? And yes, I think it was a purple patch that Donnarumma had last season, helping Paris Saint-Germain win the Champions League and the French League. But I don't think that it encapsulates the overall quality that he has exhibited for Paris Saint-Germain in the past 4 years, or the overall quality that he has exhibited as a goalkeeper, for one to say that he is a must-have. He's a big name in goalkeeping, but is he a must-have? I think United needs somebody who's competent and reliable. Gigi Donnarumma is far from reliable at the moment. And so I'm a bit, skeptical about making a move for him. Although a lot of people are saying, get him, because he's a big name. But I don't think he solves the problem immediately. So United scouting team, whoever it is you bring in has to be somebody who solves the problem. Look, I would have thrown Tom Heaton in this game against Arsenal. United he would not have considered that goal by Ender conceded. It was absolutely weak stuff. But the thing is this, Amorim needs to wake up. United fans here, we can take solace in a decent performance. We haven't seen one in a very long time. But that is bottom rank standards. United needs to aim much higher. Look, the game has already started. Liverpool, whether it was a good performance or not, beat Bournemouth 4-2. Bournemouth are a very difficult team to beat. Manchester City are off and pairing. Arsenal came to Manchester United and have beaten Manchester United even though they didn't play well. And the measure of a good team is the fact that they're able to get a result even when they play badly. Arsenal got that result and when they played badly. So yeah, Amorim sounds very positive, and also at the end says, yeah, we should have won the game. But the thing is this, you lost the game. But if he doesn't fix that goalkeeping position, the comments he made in that post-match conference are going to be repeated, because we are going to get a lot of those instances where the team plays very well and these individual errors from one chance that the opposition will get, they will punish Manchester United, the team will play well and they won't get the goals. So he needs to fix this and fix it ASAP. Yeah, and I don't get what's happening with Mohamed Salisu. Monaco won 3-1 against Le Havre yesterday. He didn't make the squad. Now, last season, in the last 14 games of Monaco's season, he played roughly about 10 minutes of the last 14 games. And I'm talking about Mohamed Salisu, Ghana Black Stars defender. And I'm asking myself, what is going on with him? This is a player that so much was expected of when he broke through from Spain, came to Southampton, was a big star in Southampton, was linked to basically every major team before he left Southampton and decided to go to Monaco. Injuries have been a problem, yes. But does that warrant the fall from grace for Mohamed Salisu? And I'm watching him and I'm thinking, what's happening? I watch his game and I think he relies a bit too much on his style, and it's nice. He's the kind of defender everybody calls a Rolls Royce type defender, but that doesn't make you a good defender. It looks like the errors have become a bit too much in his game. He's a bit too error prone at the moment. Teams want a bit more reliability. If you're going to have the swag, the style at the back, the ball playing style, you might as well also be able to read the game, not have concentration lapses, and be able to keep the backline in shape. And I think that losing his place out to the more experienced Eric Dyer and Mawasa that they brought in, and that's a player that everybody is looking at getting these days. It must be a bit disappointing for Mohamed Salisu, but I think the work is on him. The onus is also on him to recover and find his place, especially because here's the thing, it's a World Cup year, right? It's a World Cup year. Ghana needs its best players to be playing. And at the moment, although he's not the most popular, and I don't know if you guys need to tell me why you don't like Mohamed Salisu too much. I don't get it. Was it because of the difficulty, we went through to convince him to play for Ghana? Because a lot of Ghanaians have patience with a lot of players who are not playing well. People have patience with Salis Abdul Samed. He hasn't played well for 2.5 years. Nobody seems to have any patience for Mohamed Salisu. Everyone's like, yeah, he can get away with, this and that. But the thing is this, though. He needs to find a way to get back into his form and get some playing time. If not at Monaco, the window is still open. Does he look for an exit? Some have said there's interest from Spain. Some have said there's interest from Turkey. We don't know what the situation is. Monaco is a fantastic place to live if you've ever been there. It's not the kind of place that you wake up one morning and decide that you are going to leave. Of course, there's also tax breaks. So he makes a lot of money whilst he's at Monaco. Who would want to give that up to go to Spain and go and pay all that tax that is available in Spain? So the considerations are there for him. But the thing is this, he needs to improve his game. I think that he's plateaued a bit. We thought he would go that way, but he got to a point like this and hasn't been able to get back up. And that, I think, has been the problem for Mohamed Salisu. I don't think it's a talent issue. He's obviously very talented. You don't make the kind of progress he made in that 2.5-year span without having ability. Let's not forget that. Mohamed Salisu moved from virtually playing non-league football in Ghana to starting La Liga games in 11 months. Barely 9 months after breaking through in Spain, he was playing in England in the EPL for Southampton. And he had a very decent run of it. Manchester United, you people remember, were linked with him, Chelsea, a couple of other big teams. So it's there. There is something there, but he needs to find it. I think that maybe he's also gotten a bit into his head. You know, a bit of social media fame, a bit of this or that. Sometimes players lose motivation. We've seen that. Whatever it is that Mohamed Salisu is going through, I hope he discovers himself, because when he's on his game, he's a very good footballer. And Ghana needs him. We don't have too many defenders of that ability available for us. So if he is in his best form, he's somebody that we can make use of. I'm not one of those who think that, oh yeah, him. No, I don't buy that one. You understand? So yeah, let's perhaps look into the Salisu thing and see what's going on with Mohamed Salisu at Monaco. Yeah, there's something I saw that, you know, bothers me. So over the weekend on Friday, the TVET schools, and like all those of us who are here, most of us, InterCo, Suzu, and Esadiano, the TVET schools had the InterCo at the Elwak Sports Stadium. And there are two things I want to talk about. Charlie, look at the video. Look at what the kids are wearing. Some of them are wearing bibs, like bibs here, the bobo. Like, what happened? Where are the running kids? Because we watch the InterCo and the Suzu for the regular secondary schools. These kids are like, the schools have proper kits and stuff. Is it like, what's happening with the TVETs? So they don't have jerseys or what? They don't have running shoes, nothing. It was so shocking. Like, what happened? No, you check. And then even worse is the tartan tracks they're running on. Elwak Sports Stadium is where they were running. That thing is an injury machine. That thing is not a tartan track. Nobody should be running on that thing. And this belongs to the state. Elwak is not private. Elwak belongs to the army. The Ghana Armed Forces needs to do a better job. The Ministry of Defense, we beg you, take a look at the Elwak Park, the Elwak Stadium. You guys have a significant resource and a significant budget. Fix those tartan tracks at Elwak immediately. Like, look at the tracks that these kids are running. It has potholes. How are kids running on tartan tracks with potholes? Some are running barefoot. Like, it was completely shameful. And this wasn't like, this is Greater Accra super zonals for technical and vocational education schools in the region. And this is the best that we could do. I think the TVET schools need to do better for their sports, because like back in the day, TVET schools used to be like the bomb when it came to sports in the region. It wasn't even the regular secondary schools. The TVET schools like were the ones that had the stars and everything running for them, ATTC, Sacred Heart, and all those. But these days, Charlie, come on.